Have you ever used tapping to help you with stress or get rid of unwanted habits or cravings? Well, today, Melanie Moore, leading tapping expert, is here to walk us through what tapping is and how we can use this amazing modality to make changes in our health and life. Join us for this fascinating episode of Thin Thinking, where Melanie Moore does a tapping session around sugar cravings, how to break out of them using tapping. Stay tuned and don't tap that dial. Did you know that our struggle with weight doesn't start with the food on your plate or get fixed in the gym? 80% of our weight struggle is mental. That's right. The key to unlocking long-term weight release and management begins in your mind. Hi there, I'm Rita Black. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, weight loss expert, best-selling author, and the creator of the Shift Weight Mastery process. And not only have I helped thousands of people over the past 20 years achieve long-term weight mastery, I am also a former weight struggler, carb addict, and binge eater. And after 2 decades of failed diets and fad weight loss programs, I lost 40 pounds with the help of hypnosis. Not only did I release all that weight, I have kept it off for 25 years. Enter the Thin Thinking podcast, where you too will learn how to remove the mental roadblocks that keep you struggling. I'll give you the thin thinking tools, skills, and insights to help you develop the mindset you need, not only to achieve your ideal weight, but to stay there long term and live your best life. Sound good? Let's get started. Hello, everyone. I hope you are all warm and cozy. I just love learning new modalities, don't you? There are so many of them out there now, but one that keeps coming back to me is this modality of tapping. And I'm so excited to share with you my interview with Melanie Moore, where she shows us how to use the power of tapping to intercept and diminish sugar cravings. Though you could use this for whatever craving you need. Melanie uses sugar, which for a lot of us is going to be a really awesome tool. So I'm super excited to share this with you. I have known Melanie for years, and I was waiting for her to be available to have her on this podcast. Melanie Moore is the UK's leading vision board expert and award-winning coach. She inspires her clients to tap into their big vision and gives them the mindset tools to change the trajectory of their lives. She helps people at the crossroads of their life to get clear on their big vision, then to commit to this vision by taking bold action towards their goals and creating their dream life. She is the creator of the transformational neural technique, a unique process that clears the past, which then clears the path so that lasting transformation can happen. Melanie is on a mission to help millions of people to dream bigger, think bigger, and act bigger. Please welcome Melanie Moore.
And hello, Melanie, and welcome to the Thin Thinking podcast. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, Rita. Thank you so much for having me.
Melanie is so amazing. She lives in England, and we were just sitting here chatting, and I am, it's the afternoon LA time, and it's late at night, but you just told me you're a night owl. So tell us a little bit. I am sure everybody on the podcast is super interested in tapping, because that's not something everybody does. But how did you tell us about you and how your road to tapping, how did that happen?
So I came across tapping. Funny enough, the first time I came across tapping was, maybe nearly 15 years ago, and my ex-husband was a smoker. And I kind of Googled this thing online, looking at all the things that could help him. And obviously, I wish I'd known about you back then, and so I sent him off for a session to have this with, and he was so skeptical. He
Right.
just did not buy into it at all. And that's the thing. Tapping is a bit weird. It is a bit weird. And it was only when I experienced it for myself and how I could, because I sent him to have some sessions before I even really knew what it was. And so that's how I first came across tapping. But then, shortly after that, after I had my children, I've always been interested in holistic therapies. And so I retrained as a reflexologist. And then I became a Reiki healer. And I was helping my clients with fertility. I'd chosen, fertility as my niche, or my niche, as you call it.
Yeah.
And it was helping people with their pregnancy journey, because I'd had reflexology and Reiki throughout both my pregnancies, loved it, and I wanted to help support women with what I loved. But then during my reflexology training, I also was taught about tapping. And so I thought, oh yeah, that weird thing. And I couldn't believe how quickly I was getting shifts through tapping, helping me with things like migraines, with hay fever, with seasonal allergies.
Really? Wow.
And I thought this thing, because I think a lot of people, so it's called emotional freedom technique, or EFT for short. And I think most people come across it because it's really good for relieving stress, anxiety. It's also good for phobias. Here in the UK, there's one of the big budget airlines, EasyJet, has a fear of flying course. It's a 2-day course, and on day one, they're tapping the whole day.
Wow.
And then day 2, they take them up on a plane to see how their fear is gone, and they have a huge success rate. And for a big airline to put their faith in this kind of weird tapping thing, we've moved beyond that. It's no longer woo woo.
No.
It works. It's been scientifically proven, and yeah, I love it.
I have to say too, and I will. Mental health has reached such a crisis point that modalities like tapping and EMDR and hypnotherapy, people are so much more willing to try something new because the old models aren't working, or they're too expensive or inaccessible. And I think we realize, the power of the mind so much more than we did, 20 years ago, even when I started my hypnotherapy business. I mean, people were calling me up and they're like, you're going to make me bark like a dog. It's like people have gotten way beyond that now, and they're so much more willing to try something new. I think people are really like, what's next? What can I do? So, I mean, tell us a little bit about how tapping works. How does it work?
So it's often described as like a cross between acupuncture, traditional Chinese medicine, where we're working with the acupressure points on our face and our body. I know we're on audio at the moment, but there we have acupressure points near our eyebrow, side of the eye, under the nose, under the lip or the chin point. Then we have a collarbone acupressure point under the arm, literally kind of where your bra strap is if you're a lady wearing a bra, man wearing a bra, and the top of your head on the crown. So these are the key points, and it's like a combination between acupuncture but without the needles, because we use our fingertips to stimulate these points with some light tapping, and combined with modern day psychology. It was kind of, I'd say, discovered kind of by accident by a psychotherapist by the name of Roger Callahan back in the 80s. And he was treating a patient who had a lifelong phobia with water. And he was doing all the usual traditional psychotherapy methods, and wasn't getting a breakthrough with her. And then because he had a basic understanding in traditional Chinese medicine, he remembered that there was an acupressure point, and I think it's this one here under the eye, which is related to fear. And he said to this woman, just humor me, just tell me a story, let's talk about your fear, and can you just tap lightly on this point? He'd probably got some kind of divine inspiration to do this. And so she did it, she was told. And then by the end of that session, she said, I don't know what's just happened. I've had a massive, she goes, I'm not afraid of water anymore. And to prove her point, she went to his bathroom, she splashed her face with water.
Wow.
And it was like this big shift. And he's like, what just happened there? And so that kind of began the research, and I think it went into something called thought field therapy. Then Gary Craig kind of, picked this up and created what we kind of know as classic EFT today. And because it's still a relatively new healing modality, it's still open to a lot of interpretation. There's lots of flavors. People have kind of deviated slightly from the classic recipe, and have kind of made it their own. And I like to use it around limiting beliefs, interrupting thought patterns, and I brought it into my practice to help women rewrite their fear of childbirth, to let go of beliefs around the ability to get pregnant, to calm the body down. And obviously I love work with visualization as well. So when combining the visualization of visualizing yourself becoming pregnant and tapping as well, I continue to experiment with tapping 10 years on. And we have this phrase in the tapping world, we'll say try it on anything. And with my clients in my community, I say, so I put it to my members community. I say to them, give me inspiration for tapping videos. So recently I did a tapping for fertility, to tell yourself that I am a fertile person. I am, I'm going to get pregnant easily and effortlessly. We have tapping videos to manifest, your soulmate. We have tapping videos.
So and we're going to give you guys, just FYI, the link to Melanie's YouTube channel here, and lots of and some other things. So definitely check out the show notes. But that's amazing. What's your favorite video that you've created? Like, what's the one that you think is?
I love doing the money videos as well, tapping to help people, because that's one of my first online course that I created was a program called Tapping into Abundance. And they often say that we teach what we need to learn ourselves. And there was a whole lot of stuff I had around my beliefs around money mindset, particularly when my marriage ended and I was facing life as a single parent, raising 2 children on my own, and just all these kind of beliefs that came with it. I can't be a successful person and be a good mother. How on earth am I going to create abundance for myself? And it was just really unpacking everything I ever believed about money. And because money is such an emotive topic, when we've got lots of it we feel great, and when it is lacking, it strikes fear and worry into us. And I think, EFT is emotional freedom technique. Let's tap on the emotions around money and the beliefs around money. So one of too many to think of, but I was a speaker at James Wedmore's event a couple of years ago.
And I was there. You were amazing.
That was, and he asked me to do a tapping, and I said, what do you want me to tap on? He said to let go of the belief that you have to work hard for your money. I was like, oh, that's a good one.
That's so good.
And so and with James's permission, I actually put that on my YouTube channel. So
good. That was a great session. You were very compelling. You did great, and you look fabulous too. I'm sorry this isn't audio, but Melanie is a beautiful woman, and she looked the part. You were very authoritative, and it was great. So, well, that is awesome. So I know my audience, I said that maybe we would talk a little bit about sugar, because here we are in January, and everybody is looking at their eating patterns and looking at the relationship with so many of us who struggle with our weight. Sugar and carbohydrates are, we have a propensity for them, they hit our brains in a certain way. We've created certain patterns around them. Yeah. So I know you had talked about helping yourself with that. I know you've made some videos on YouTube about that. And maybe, would you mind telling us a little bit about how our audience could maybe you can demonstrate some tapping and around sugar and everything like that? I know I'm kind of putting the cart before the horse. You can lead us in any way you like, but
yeah, absolutely. And of course, I think just like money and emotions, food,
Oh,
it's so emotional. We
yes.
talk about comfort eating, and I think that different food groups give us different types of comfort. And sugar and carbs and donuts, sweet things and pastries. Um, yeah, it's we go to those things because of either an emotion that we want to numb or as an avoidance.
Right.
There's so many, it's tied up with so many things. So I kind of, yeah, the tapping is a really good way to interrupt the thought pattern and to rewrite the narrative in your head. Because I think it's like with any other addiction, like sugar is so addictive, isn't it? Um,
It's like a drug for some people. They're some people it's not. I bet there is like there's so much research now that shows that some people's mouths and brains, like the dopamine center, obviously gets instigated, but that it can be like cocaine for some people. It's
mm,
that much of a physiological and mental response.
mhm.
So I could see how tapping could be a great pattern interrupt when,
Yeah.
our brain goes to food tastes good, when I feel bad, like I need sugar. Um, how would you start? Like if you were having a craving, how would you do some tapping around that?
I think, well, obviously, your members and your clients, they get the support from you in terms of, did you say it's kind of thinking thin,
Yeah, the name of the podcast is Thin Thinking.
thin thinking? Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So we're
love that.
using our minds, yeah, we're using our minds more effectively. It just like what
Mm,
you're talking about, we're redirecting, we're getting outside the box of
mm,
what I call the weight struggle and the
mm.
weight struggle
And I
minds.
think also in January, this is when the time the diets start, the New Year's
Yes.
resolutions start. So people often, I think, feel that they're in restriction mode, and
Mm,
they're denying themselves pleasure, and it feels a bit, probably maybe a bit boring, and
yes.
that I'm restricting myself here. And I think it's to rewrite that story. And maybe you associate, what do you associate sugar with it is like a reward, you know
Mm,
here I my parents didn't do it, and I've talked about this, and I think when we have deep rooted relationship with food, some people, after school on a Friday, their parents would take to the sweet shop. They could have anything they wanted, or for good behaviour, they were given sweets, because it's seen as a reward. But I would kind of like to think about your relationship with sugar, and it's like, well, and to retell yourself a new story that there are other ways I can reward myself,
right.
loving ways that I can. And yeah, I'd love to demonstrate a tapping around in a minute. And I never prepare these in advance, so I can't tell you exactly where it's going to go, but I just trust exactly what your audience, will need to hear. And hopefully my intention is it will support them to keeping on track with their
Oh, yeah.
January goals.
Yes. That would be
Mm.
great.
So yeah, so I just share very briefly. I love a sweet thing or two myself, and I love chocolates. And I do recognise that when to be as my relationship with food is that I will go to it when it's a procrastination tool for me. If there's
Mm,
something I want to avoid doing, I think, okay, I'll just eat something instead. And then when it comes to things like chocolates and biscuits, cookies, I think as you call them,
yeah.
um, we, you know, one just isn't enough.
Right.
And but it's not because you need it nutritionally. It's not that at all. It's not even necessarily out of hunger. It's just boredom, or yeah. And so I remember a few years ago, it's just end of term, and I'd gone to Costco and I'd bought this big thing of chocolates for the teachers. It was like 10 boxes of chocolates,
Mm,
and there was one left over, and it was at the back of my mind, I knew this really nice box of chocolates was in the cupboard, and it was just like tapping on my head.
right.
And yeah,
It's
just,
calling your name. Melanie.
yeah,
Melanie, I'm in here.
me, eat me. And it was just that constant knocking wouldn't go away, and I could feel the urge just to rip off the cellophane and tuck into this box. And then I remembered, I'm going to tap on letting go of the power that this box is having over me right now. And so I guess that's my intention for this round of tapping. Imagine there's a situation that you've got coming up, or there may be something calling you. And for some people, it could be, a big bag of Doritos or whatever. But yeah, I think on the whole, it's very it's that quick sugary hit that we're after, isn't it?
We want that, whatever the hit is. So that's perfect.
So first, I would get you to address the feeling, address the craving. I'll call it, it's a sugar craving. And out of 10, how strongly is that feeling right now? And so me in that moment with that box of chocolates, the thought just happened, it was like a 10 out of 10. I wanted to rip it open and eat the whole box. So to viewers listening, just, assess how strongly is that craving right now, between 1 and 10. And I'll just go through the points again very quickly, because obviously this audio, so it'll be, if you check out one of my YouTube videos, you'll see what I'm doing, and then you'll be able to get, and then once you've familiarized yourself with the points, I will talk you through each of the points as I move on. So you can't see now, but right now I'm tapping on the karate chop point. This is where we start off the tapping. We call this a setup statement. Okay. So when we're tapping on this point, we are addressing the problem. Now, people are saying, oh, but why are you you'll see when I get started, I'm literally just talking about how much I want the chocolate. I really want the chocolate right now. We're addressing that craving. We're almost going to be kind of salivating with how much we want that thing. The next part of the tappings, we're going to be letting
Melanie,
go.
Can I ask you about that part of it? So Melanie is, I'm not sure if you heard her, but she's like hitting the side of her hand. And you'll see it when you look at one of her videos. But is addressing that right there in the moment really an acceptance state? Like you are accepting that you have the craving? Because I feel like a lot of times when we resist things, they get bigger. So by accepting something, you're kind of taking ownership of it.
So you'll see, I also use a phrase, even though I have the sugar craving right now, obviously I will expand on that, I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So that is a key, that's a magic statement in tapping.
Yes.
Even though I've got X, Y, Z going on, this problem, this limiting belief,
right,
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Oh, beautiful.
Then we love and forgive ourselves. And so we do that. It's called I call it the karate chop point. Because imagine if you're going to chop a piece of wood with a karate chop, that is a piece of your part of your hand that you're tapping.
That's a good visual.
Fleshy part underneath your little finger. Okay. And then we move on to the eyebrow part. This is when we're continuing to address for the first part of tapping. It's where the eyebrow meets the bridge of the nose. Then we move on to the side of the eye, under the eye, and you can do either side of the face, either hand, doesn't matter. Under the nose, under the lip, the collarbone. Now this is probably, imagine with the bony part of your collarbone where it goes all the way around and is a couple of inches down from your collarbone. That's funny. I've often said it's a couple of inches above your nipple, but then one of my clients said, well, she up at Mel, she goes, my nipple's near my belly button. So wherever, anyway, you get the drift. It's kind of like, kind of in alignment with the top of your armpit.
Yes, so, that's a good description. I would say that's a great visual. Yeah.
So, and then under the arm, literally kind of where your bra strap lies, and top of the head. So I will describe each of the points before I change. And then hopefully once you've kind of seen the YouTube video, you'll get the gist, and then you'll come back to this tapping video and it will make perfect sense.
Yes. Okay, good.
Okay. So yeah, it's in 3 parts. First part is addressing the problem, loving and accepting ourselves. Second part is letting go. And the third part is the positive new statement that's going to rewire the brain. So it's kind of like a bit of a club sandwich.
I love it.
Okay. Right. I hope that makes sense. All right. Here we go. So, the first thing is just address the level of the craving out of 10. How strong is it? And then we tap. Here we go. Even though. Rita, do you want to repeat after me?
I'm going to do, and Melanie is tapping that part of her hand.
Okay.
Even though, okay.
Even though, right. So even though I have this really strong craving right now
I have this really strong craving right now
for the chocolate,
for the chocolate,
the cookies,
the cookies,
the donuts,
the donuts,
the bread,
the bread,
pastries,
the pastries. I'm getting hungry.
whatever it is I have a craving for right now,
Whatever it is I have a craving for right now,
I deeply and completely
love
and accept myself anyway.
I love and accept myself anyway.
Even though I have this really strong craving right now,
Even though I have this very strong craving right now,
I really want to eat this thing.
I really want to eat this thing.
I want it right now.
I want it right now.
I choose to deeply and completely
I choose to deeply and completely
love and honor myself anyway.
love and honor myself anyway.
Even though this craving is so strong right now,
Even though this craving is so strong right now,
I just want to grab it and eat it.
I just want to grab it and eat it.
I want it so much.
I want it so much. Now we're still hitting the side of our palm, just
Yeah, the karate
for the
chop,
audience members.
I choose to deeply and completely
I choose to deeply and completely
love, honor, and forgive myself,
love, honor, and forgive myself,
and forgive anyone else associated with this feeling.
and forgive anyone else associated with this feeling.
Okay, moving to the eyebrow point now.
Okay?
This really strong craving,
This really strong craving,
side of the eye. I want it right now.
I want it right now.
Under the eye. I really want to eat right now.
I really want to eat right now.
Under the nose. I want this sugar.
I want the sugar.
Under the lip. My craving is so strong right now.
My craving is so strong right now.
Collarbone. And I'm annoyed with myself.
And I'm annoyed with myself
Under the eye for wanting it so much.
for wanting it so much.
Top of the head. I can feel myself eating it already.
I can feel myself eating it already.
Eyebrow point. And I'm recognizing this craving.
And I'm recognizing this craving.
Side of the eye. But maybe I could let this craving go.
Maybe I can let this craving go.
Under the eye. Because it's just a feeling.
It's just a feeling.
Under the nose. This is just temporary.
This is just temporary.
Under the lip. This craving.
This craving.
Collarbone. Maybe I can let it go now.
Maybe I can let it go now.
Under the arm. Maybe I can release this craving.
Maybe I can release this craving.
Top of the head. Maybe I can make a better choice instead.
Maybe I can make a better choice instead.
I choose to eyebrow. I choose to let go of this feeling.
I choose to let go of this feeling.
Side of the eye. I'm releasing this feeling now.
I'm releasing this feeling now.
Under the eye. I'm sending calming signals through my body.
I'm sending calming signals through my body.
Under the nose. I choose to relax.
I choose to relax.
Under the lip. I'm feeling more and more relaxed now.
I'm feeling more and more relaxed now.
Collarbone. I'm feeling more empowered now.
I'm feeling more empowered now.
Under the arm. I am in control.
I am in control.
Top of the head. I have the power.
I have the power.
Eyebrow point, not the sugar.
Not the sugar.
Side of the eye. Letting go of the power sugar has over me.
Letting go of the power sugar has over me.
Under the eye. I have the power.
I have the power.
Under the nose. And I choose to make a better choice.
And I choose to make a better choice.
Under the lip. It feels good to make a better choice.
It feels good to make a better choice.
Collarbone. Maybe it's choosing a healthier snack.
Maybe it's choosing a healthier snack.
Under the arm. Maybe it's recognizing I'm not hungry at all.
Maybe it's recognizing I'm not hungry at all.
Top of the head. And maybe I can do a workout instead.
Maybe I can do a workout instead.
Eyebrow, or go for a walk.
Or go for a walk.
Side of the eye. I choose to make a better choice.
I choose to make a better choice.
Under the eye. And I feel really good about this better choice.
And I feel really good about this better choice.
Under the nose. I'm excited about the better choice.
I'm excited about the better choice.
Under the lip. I'm feeling proud of myself.
I'm feeling proud of myself.
Collarbone. Allowing myself to make a choice.
Allowing myself to make a choice.
Under the arm. A choice that's an act of self-love.
A choice that is an act of self-love.
Top of the head. A choice that is empowering for me.
A choice that is empowering for me.
Eyebrow. I choose to make a better choice.
I choose to make a better choice.
Side of the eye. Feeling calmer and calmer.
Feeling calmer and calmer.
Under the eye. Feeling more and more relaxed.
Feeling more and more relaxed.
Under the nose. Feeling at peace.
Feeling at peace.
Under the lip. I feel really good.
I feel really good.
Collarbone. I choose to make better choices.
I choose to make better choices.
Under the arm. I choose to make healthier choices.
I choose to make healthier choices.
Top of the head. I love that I can make better choices.
I love that I can make better choices.
Eyebrow. Feeling great about making better choices.
Feeling great about making better choices.
Side of the eye. I love making healthy choices.
I love making healthy choices.
Under the eye. Feeling more and more relaxed.
Feeling more and more relaxed.
Under the nose. Feeling calmer and calmer.
Feeling calmer and calmer.
Under the lip. Feeling peaceful.
Feeling peaceful.
Collarbone. I feel great.
I feel great.
Under the arm. I feel empowered.
I feel empowered.
Top of the head. In body, mind, and spirit.
In body, mind, and spirit.
Take a nice deep breath. Put your hands on your heart. And exhale. Okay. How was that, Rita?
Oh my God, I feel fantastic. And I didn't even want sugar. I feel like, but no, honestly, you guys, I hope you did that with me. And if you don't, rewind and do that, because that was phenomenal. And go and find Melanie on YouTube and watch whatever tapping. I have rarely used tapping. It has a very hypnotic, I can see how it is where you're taking the brain through all of that. And it's so fantastic. It's like a waking self-hypnosis session. That's what I would call that. It's
definitely.
but by hitting all those points, you can really feel that energy in your body, like opening up that channel.
It is. That's exactly what you're doing, because these are, as I said earlier, these are connected to Chinese meridian points, and
Right.
and each of those points is related to different emotions. It's like hamster wheel thinking. It's fear. It's guilt. It's shame. It's trauma, and we have a lot of trapped trauma in our body as well. So by hitting each of those points, you're literally covering all the bases, because there's all those emotions attached with eating, guilt and shame, and secret eating.
Yes.
So we're literally giving ourselves an energy workout as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so good. Now, I could see that is definitely doing that for yourself is a skill you have to develop. And do you know what I mean? Like being able to do that. Like you could do that, like you did it so beautifully. I could see you were just channeling, and you did an amazing job.
I said I can't script these. It's impossible almost.
Right.
So,
no, I could see that you're just really adept at tuning in and channeling whatever needs to be there. I could see somebody developing that skill, for themselves. But would you recommend, like, if they were going to do this for themselves on something? I mean, obviously they're going to go watch your videos and get some more training. But would they just start out very simply, just like with the 3 prongs, like you were saying, like kind of accept the craving or what have you? Then begin to let go of the craving. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
And then the third step is reinstalling a new belief.
Exactly. So that is the recipe. And the thing is, it's free. You can watch YouTube videos. It's not just me. There's plenty of other EFT practitioners.
Oh, don't be humble. You're great. You go watch Melanie and don't watch anybody else.
Okay. Well, So yeah, and I often talk of there's two ways that you can use tapping. One is just like that. It's it's like a band-aid, or it's like a emotional, cup of espresso. It's a quick hit, you get instant result. But then when there are also times where it's going to be a deeper story, that something you want to rewrite. And this is where I recommend tapping with a script daily for 30, 60, maybe even 90 days to really rewire your neural pathways for that new belief. Because if you're just going to tap on like money flows to me easily and effortlessly, it's like, yeah, right, I don't believe that.
Right.
But if you can do that tapping every day for 68 days, and that's the thing, that's where people kind of like, and it takes a dedicated person to be, super consistent with lasting change. And I think this is when, joining your community is, you need that community support to
and you need somebody
lasting
setting
shift.
the bar for you and leading you through. Yes, absolutely. But I can see the power of this and the power of like you were saying, like not only like if somebody was infertile, if somebody had, or not, I shouldn't say they were infertile, but they were having trouble getting pregnant, that it's like a opening and a bridge to something different.
And obviously with deep-rooted traumas and with working on, something like fertility, or with, childhood abuse or trauma, I do recommend working with a qualified therapist, because sometimes it kind of unlocks things that you may need some additional support.
That's a very good point. Yes. Don't do this. Don't beware. You can do this at home, but don't go and open doors that you don't feel qualified to open by yourself.
Yeah. And some people say to me, oh, can you do a YouTube video for, childhood abuse? And like, no, that's not the sort of thing that you just want to stumble across on YouTube, because there's a lot of deeper healing, and that's not what I specialize in, by the way. So if anyone wants childhood abuse, I don't do that.
Yes. No, you can tell you're great because you really are focused on certain things, and you're not a jack of all trades. And I think that's important to refer people out to, the right people who know it, who have specialized. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally.
And you care so much about people. I love that about you, and you really do care about making a change in the world. So I thank you. Is there anything else that you, here in the January of the new year, the world we're in a crazy place in the world. Like, have you been doing any tapping with people for just like accepting where we are here on the planet, and all?
Funnily enough, I was just actually, because I do like to talk about, goals and, what people, just
Melanie works with vision boards. This is what she's trying to, but you do, right? Yes.
Yeah, having a vision, but not just vision boards, but having a vision for, I call myself a big vision coach. It's having a vision for what you want your life to look like. But right now in these crazy times, it's like, what do you want a vision for the world to be like? Vision for humanity, vision for, the world has changed unbelievably in the last 2 years, and it's caused so much upset for a lot of people, created so much division and confusion, and and I think, without going into what people's beliefs on stuff, it's just like, we all want to work together, we want to be united, and have a peaceful world. I think it's just harmony, and I think having a vision for how you want the world to be is a great thing to do. And but when we do work like tapping and we shift our energy system, it ripples out to everyone around us. So it does really help, even if you just do 10-minute tapping on feeling calm and peaceful, you're going to affect your people in your household. You'll interact with people differently. You will change the outcome of your day just through starting your day with, right, today, this is my vision for today.
Yes.
Set an intention for the day and tap into it, journal in it, or whatever, but just shift your energy so that you take that out into the world and affect people around you positively. And it always begins with us. Anything you want for anyone else or the world, it has to begin with you. So if you want peace of the world, you've got to have it for yourself first.
Right. I love it. Well, we are going to have you back towards June to work on some big visions. I think that will be our next
Love that. Thank you.
exploration. I love that. Well, I love the time you spent with us. This has been so valuable. And please, please, please go visit the show notes and find out how you can find out more about tapping and Melanie and what she's up to with all of her, beautiful things she's doing out in the world. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it was lovely to have you.
Thanks for listening to the Thin Thinking Podcast. Did that episode go by way too fast for you? If so, and you want to dive deeper into the mindset of long-term weight release, head on over to www.shiftweightmastery.com. That's www.shiftweightmastery.com, where you'll find numerous tools and resources to help you unlock your mind for permanent weight release, tips, strategies, and more. And be sure to check the show notes to learn more about my book, From Fat to Thin Thinking, Unlock Your Mind for Permanent Weight Loss, and to learn how to subscribe to the podcast so that you never miss an episode.